Shrewsbury Town riding high in 4th spot against Northampton, 5 places off the bottom of the Football League. On paper, it looks to be a decent chance this for Shrewsbury Town, but as we all know, it never plays out so straightforward as that, does it? Here's Jacobson for Shrewsbury. Looks for Gornell, but doesn't quite reach him. Langmead steps in. A long header forward now by Sharps, one for Gornell to chase. Langmead goes across, and Langmead is wearing number 28 on the back of his shirt. Deals with it, the man who played 200 games or so for Shrewsbury Town in a decent Gay Meadow career. Also was part of the scene, wasn't he, at the new stadium, and he stabs it into touch. Town throw. First touch for the new boy, James Hurst. Throws it to a teammate, to Wildig. Now goes back to Sharps, who in turn sends it all the way back to Neil. And the goalkeeper, all in black today, wore all green at Newport last weekend to avoid a colour clash. Clears downfield. Jacobson now, midway inside the Northampton half, left-hand side. Plays it forward. One for Morgan to chase. Westwood comes across and deals with it. Can he keep it in? No, he can't, and that'll be a Town throw directly in front of the visiting dugout. Graham Turner in his blue and white manager's coat, smart suit beneath that, watching on as Jacobson takes it to Cansdale Sheriff. Ball planted forward towards Gornell, and now Northampton bring it away with Niven up towards halfway. Here's a Sado Berahino. Berahino looks for the rotund figure of Adebayo Akinfenwa. Move breaks down, and Hurst tidies up and plays it back to Neil. Good first time clearance from the keeper up towards Gornell, who's fouled by Langmead, who went right through the ex-Accrington centre forward. And Shrewsbury will have this free kick in a decent position 40 yards out, taken quickly by Richards to Hurst. Bit of space for the new boy. Hurst plays it into the box poorly, and it sails all the way through to Sam Walker, the Northampton Town goalkeeper. Very lively start though here.
Yeah, very lively start. You can see that a couple of the Northampton players just not wanting to take chances in front of their own goal, Stuart, just kicking the ball aimlessly away from their own goal. And it's a team who are lacking in confidence. You can tell that straight away from the first minutes here in this game.
Team news, just a one change made by Graham Turner from the team, which managed to pull off that FA Cup win at Newport a week ago. James Hurst replaces the injured Jermaine Granderson at right back. Apart from that, it's as you were with people like Collins and Rowe and Ainsworth, all left on the bench. Town then, Neil in goal, back four, Hurst, Sharps, Cansdale Sheriff and Jacobson. In midfield, Wildig, McAllister, Richards and Wright, and up front Gornell and Morgan for Shrewsbury. Here's Jacobson, ball into the box, flags up though against Gornell, took it on his chest, but the flag was up nice and early on the far side, and that'll be a free kick to Northampton Town, who need a result to reignite their ailing campaign. Goal in the Premier League, Wigan 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Yakubu has got the goal there for beleaguered Blackburn manager Steve Keane. That will make him feel a little bit rosier about life. Here's McAllister in the centre circle. Northampton team to come in a moment. McAllister hooks it on, Wright gives chase, and the race is won by Westwood, and he nods it back to the goalkeeper Sam Walker. Walker then the Northampton keeper. They play 4-4-2. Back four, Jason Crowe, Ashley Westwood, Kelvin Langmead and Ben Tozer is a giant of a man playing left back. In midfield, Aaron Davis, former Wales player, Michael Jacobs, the captain, Derek Niven and Chris Arthur, and up front Adebayo Akinfenwa and Sado Berahino. This is good play from the Cobblers on the right. Tozer, has he won a corner? Yes, he has. He drives it in, hits Jacobson, goes behind, and Northampton have the game's first corner.
Yeah, it's a good piece of play there down this right-hand side by Northampton. Good interchange of passes, and Berahino just getting a cross in and being blocked by Jacobson at left back.
Corner is to be taken here by Aaron Davis. Such a good player, wasn't he, in his Yeovil Town days? Takes a corner to the edge of the box. Langmead's in there, headed goalwards, and it's well wide. Header was won in the end by Jacobs. It goes about 12 yards wide of Chris Neal's left-hand post, though, and that'll be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, to be taken by Chris Neal. Interesting article on Kelvin Langmead, by the way, in the matchday programme here today. Dressing Room Secrets, it's called. Basically, Langmead runs through teammates with the worst hair, best dress sense, etc, etc. One of the questions, though, who is your best mate in football? And Langmead replies, Chris Neal, who will be playing in goal for Shrewsbury today. They were teammates at Preston North End as well as at Shrewsbury Town. Good football for Town on halfway here. Wildig to Morgan. Morgan tries to release right through the middle. It's cut out by Westwood, and Westwood plays it downfield, too high for Akinfenwa. who seems to be carrying a little bit more weight every time we see him. Adebayo Akinfenwa, we saw him at Gillingham, didn't we, last season? He's now back at Northampton. They love him here, but he is a good player, Adebayo Akinfenwa. Underestimate him at your peril. Word from Steve on Akinfenwa in a moment as McAllister goes crunching into a tackle. Northampton clear downfield, and Castle Sheriff wins the race with Berahino and knocks it back to Neil, who clears first time up towards halfway. Header won by Wildig, playing on the right hand side of this four-man midfield once again. Wildig, the youngster on loan from Cardiff City. Jacobson now forward to Berahino. Akinfenwa takes over, well won though by McAllister, just picking the pocket of the birdie centre forward. And here's Hurst, the right back, good composure, takes a touch, plays it down the touchline. Morgan gives chase. Langmead does a tidying up for the Cobblers this time, and Northampton now play it forward towards Akinfenwa. Takes it on the chest, flicks it over his head, and it goes through to the goalkeeper Chris Neal. Where do you stand on Akinfenwa? Are you a fan of his?
Yeah, decent player, Stuart. Likes of Rennie Howe, who's carrying a load of called lard on him
Timber
as a centre forward. Timber, yeah, he's the same, but this guy can play. Great target man, good in the air, and he's got great awareness of players around him. We just saw there, little chest control, flicked over the top of his head, and the Northampton players just going to get onto it. But yeah, good player. Yeah,
good player. He's a man that Sharps and Council Sheriff will have to keep under very close control today. Good ball forward now from Hurst down the right hand side towards the other Lone Ranger, Wildig, whose control lets him down, and it goes through to the keeper. Word on the town team, by the way. Are you surprised that Graham Turner's left the likes of Ainsworth and Rowe and even Collins on the bench, or is it perfectly understandable given that the team did battle well to that win at Newport a week ago?
I thought Ainsworth would have been back in the side today, Stuart, to be fair. Aaron Wildig is a central midfield player. He's been asked to play out on that right hand side. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I just think the pace that Ainsworth has got to the side, and he frightens players. I would have included him today.
I think he might have played had it been a home game, maybe. Ainsworth. Yeah. With it being an away game, I guess Wildig might offer a little bit more defensively. We played 8 minutes on BBC Shropshire 96 FM, no score. Good ball forward from Gornell. Morgan gives chase, always just got in front of him and runs away and goes all the way through to the keeper, Walker. Tyrone Barnett has given Crawley, riding high in League 2, an early lead against Oxford, 1-0 Crawley, and Wimbledon 1, Swindon 0. Sam Hatton, the goal scorer there for the Dons down at Kings Meadow. Swindon in good form at the moment. Same division, Aldershot 0, Gillingham 1. Frank Newblay, the unknown West Ham man, has got the goal there for Gillingham. No goals at Northampton as yet. 8 on the clock, 0-0, and it's still 0-0. The Bucks against the Stags, Telford Mansfield in the Blue Square Premier. Wigan have equalised against Blackburn in the top division. Gomez, and the equaliser for the Latics. Northampton on the attack, left hand side, ball whipped in towards Akinfenwa over the top. Good chance, Akinfenwa pulling off the back of Castle Sheriff, and he heads it over the top when he might have at least worked the keeper.
Yeah, it was a good header, wasn't it? That's what he's all about, Stuart. It was a great ball in from the left back of Northampton, but he's just so powerful, Akinfenwa. He got in front of Castle Sheriff, who's no slouch himself, and a glancing header, and say he should have done better, really.
Nice bright afternoon in Northampton, plenty of blue sky as Wright turns it forward here. Gornell could be in around the back, and the keeper comes and wins the race. Good positive decision making once again from Sam Walker, the Northampton Town goalkeeper, who's been ever present between the posts for the Cobblers so far this season, and he was big and bold there, and he won the race with Gornell just in the nick of time. We played 9 minutes, no score on BBC Shropshire 96 FM. Wildig trying to get involved in the game. Here he is, shoved to ground. Should be a free kick. Yes, it is, says the man in charge. David Webb is the referee for this one, and Shrewsbury will have a throw just a couple of yards or so inside the Northampton Town half, which Hurst will take. The new boy who's come on board from West Bromwich Albion, at least for the next 6 weeks. I think his loan is at least until January the 7th. And let's see what Hurst can deliver here. The big men from the back make their way forward. Sharps and Council Sheriff. Decent delivery from Hurst to the edge of the box. Morgan rises, good flick one. A scrappy clearance, only as far as Richards, some 30 yards out. Richards plays it to this near side. Wright makes some space, whips it in towards Morgan, off balance, heads it over the top. Great ball from Wright. disappointing header from Morgan, albeit he was a little bit off balance.
Yeah, it's a good play from the town side there, Stuart. Matt Richards picking the loose ball up. Great ball out to Mark Wright. His first touch took him past the fullback, and that's what we like to see Mark Wright do. Whip it in with that left foot, and just a little bit too high for Marvin Morgan in the centre of the goal, and a header just wide, but good attacking play from town.
Stoke 1, QPR 0 in the top division. John Walters, the Stoke goal scorer. Remember, Walters scored one of the goals against Shrewsbury in the Carling Cup game at the Britannia last season. He's got one against Neil Warnock's QPR today, 1-0 to Stoke City. Telford still 0-0 with Mansfield. A much changed Telford side today. Caught the Andy Simpson interview last weekend as we were just getting back from the early kick-off at Newport, and he did sound totally demoralised with how it had gone that day at Chelmsford, with good feeling, it would seem, as well. Kane Ferdinand has scored for Southend United, who lead 1-0 at struggling Dagenham. Dagenham 0, Southend 1. Ferdinand, who's been linked with one or two bigger clubs in recent weeks, among them West Ham, where his cousins Rio and Anton played with considerable success. No score here. Town playing okay so far. Here's Richards on halfway. Plays it up towards Morgan. Beaten to it by Tozer. And that will be a Shrewsbury throw as they edge forward down this left-hand side on this family fun day at Sixfields, the home of Northampton now for, it's got to be 20 years. It's not really deemed as being a new ground, is it, these days? It's one of the older style new grounds, if that makes sense. Used to play at the county ground and share that with Northamptonshire County Cricket Club. Well, remember going there, and one side of the ground would just be roped off, and you'd have the cricket pitch and the pavilion behind it. A long, long time ago since we went to the old county ground, though. Town on the attack with Wright, shows a bit too much of that to Jacobs. Now Tozer, once of Newcastle, comes forward from right back. Poor outboard, easily cut out by Cansdell Sheriff. Richards to McAllister. Jacobson now onto the left peg. Long, hopeful ball forward. Morgan gives chase, and he might just get there as well here, Morgan. Forces the error out of Tozer. Great closing down from Morgan. There was nothing on. I think it's actually gone for a corner in the end.
Yeah, it has, Stu. Yeah, great. Everybody give it up, hadn't they? Even the Northampton defence. Morgan sprinted from the middle of the penalty area, and he's got a corner out of it. Great play.
Didn't look the best of balls forward from Jacobson in the first instance, but Morgan made it a better ball than perhaps it was. He's won Town a corner here on 13 minutes. No score at Sixfields. Mark Wright takes it. Right footed towards the near post. Cansdell Sheriff converges on the ball. And a bit of a shove spotted from the Australian by the man in charge, Mr. Webb. And Northampton Town will have this a free kick inside their 6-yard box. Northampton 6 defeats in 7. Their home form, by the way, leaves a lot to be desired. 1-1, that was against Dagenham back on September the 24th. Drawn 3 and lost 4. 6 goals scored here and 11 conceded. Away from home they fared better. They've won 3 games on the road in the league. They also won at Ipswich in the Championship in the Carling Cup back in the first week of the season, but they have underachieved. Big things were expected of Northampton this season under Gary Johnson, but it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. Northampton now come forward here with Chris Arthur on the left-hand side. Good delivery towards Jacobs. Jacobs has a little go at it, doesn't get an X, and it goes through to the keeper easily. Easy save in the end for Chris Neal. Good ball in from Arthur. Jacobs never looked convincing, and a comfortable save for the goalkeeper. And Town now send it forward. Morgan battling well on halfway. Good turn from the big man. Morgan looks for Gornell. Gornell turns to McAllister. James Hurst well forward. McAllister 35 yards out, dinks it into the middle towards Gornell. Good header down for Morgan. Morgan stumbles at the vital moment, and Northampton smuggle the ball away. Referee's in the way there. Ball seized upon by Wright. 20 yards out, left hand side, back to Richards. To Wright again. Oh, poor control. But I bet the referee's relieved nothing came of that, because he got in the way of an attempted Northampton clearance, and it could have been costly. It wasn't. But I must say, Steve, I'm quite encouraged how Marvin Morgan started this game. Hasn't scored in his last 9 games. Struggled a little bit as well with his all-round play, but he looks much improved in these first 15 minutes. Yeah, he's one of these centre forwards, Stuart, as if, you know, even if he goes on a bit of a goal drought, he'll still carry on doing the same things, and that's important as a centre forward. You know, you're still getting in the same positions, just keep getting hold of it, keep playing and getting a new position, and that's exactly what he's doing today. Here's Crow, former Portsmouth player, up towards Akinfenwa. Here's Berahino, edge of the box. Shot comes in, well blocked by Jacobson. becoming a real steady Eddie, Joe Jacobson, and the ball spins into touch, and that'll be a Northampton throw on the right hand side. Tozer, who literally stands tall, walks tall at 6'6". He's going to launch one of these long throws into the box. Langmead's in there. Langmead looks for the flick of the near post, gets something on it. Berahino looks for Arthur, and cleared high into the blue sky by the new boy for Shrewsbury Hurst, and the ball returned with interest by Jacobs and bounces behind, and that will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. Dagenham have equalised against the leaders, Southend. Christian Montano, who's just joined the Daggers on loan from West Ham United. He's got himself a debut goal there. Dagenham 1, Southend 1. There's something of a local derby down there at Victoria Road today. We were there a fortnight ago, where Town did so well, didn't they, as they played with 10 men for all bar the first 25-26 minutes after James Wallace was sent off on his debut. 0-0 Northampton Shrewsbury today. Town have work to do here though, as Jacobs looks long and well left by Sharps. Just allows the ball to run towards Chris Neal. And that's why Shrewsbury Town have been defending so well and keeping so many clean sheets, because they have that vital communication at the back, Steve. Yeah, fantastic, great, because it's one of them dicey ones where you think, shall I head it, shall I let it go? But great calling from Chris Neal, and just collected it really easy. Town just, keeping the ball, Stuart, playing really, really well at the moment. Here's Mark Wright, bit of space in which to manoeuvre. Wright takes a shot, takes a deflection, it's gone in! 1-0 Shrewsbury Town! Mark Wright from 20 yards, hitting with his right boot, takes a hefty deflection, beats the keeper, and Town have the lead on 17. Managerless Northampton 0, Shrewsbury Town 1, and it's Mark Wright. Yeah, good little passage of play, Stuart. And they always say, Mark Wright, will be told, you don't buy a ticket, you don't score, you don't get any prizes. He's had a shot at goal. It took a wicked deflection of one of the Northampton players, but who cares? It's nestled into that right-hand corner of the net. Town 1-0 and playing well, Stuart. That's the main thing, they're playing well. Mark Wright then for Shrewsbury Town, goal number 5 of the season. We heard him on Shropshire United ahead of the game saying he'd love a goal on Saturday, but he's got a goal on Saturday. And it's given Shrewsbury Town the lead. Mark Wright. Must let you into a little
can't have it, Stu,
conversation here. On the way to away games, myself and some of the other journalists who follow the Town, and Steve as well, we have a little prediction game in which we predict all manner of results from League 2 and Premier League games and different bits and pieces, such as first time goal scorer, etc. It's Gornell, chance for Town, he's into the area. Gornell, saved by the keeper, great save from Walker. Gornell got in there after some awful, woeful Northampton defending. He was one-on-one, out came the big keeper Walker. Gornell went for power and he blasted it straight at the keeper. Should have been 2-0. Yeah, it's a great Northampton are playing this offside, Stuart. They're really straight line across the back, and Terry Gornell's having a field day at the moment. One-on-one with the keeper, went for power, and great save by the Northampton keeper, kept him in the game. Yeah, it was a good save, very good save. Our prediction game though, one of the categories, first Shrewsbury goal scorer, I said Mark Wright. Straight away Steve has yelled across the press box, own goal. Never, Mark Wright's goal. There's money on this, Stuart. Read about it in the papers. and on teletext, and listen all about it on Radio Shropshire in the bulletins tomorrow morning. It will be a Mark Wright goal. Mark Wright did take a deflection, but he will not care one jot about that. It's Shrewsbury 1 up here corner against Northampton. Morgan chasing hard as he won a corner. No, he hasn't, not quite. But it's all Shrewsbury so far, and it's the best possible start for Shrewsbury Town against the Northampton side, who clearly a shot in terms of confidence, bereft of self-belief on the back of this run of results, which has led to the manager leaving the club this week. Great chances for Town. You could tell, and I think Lee, the new manager, or the caretaker manager at the time, he's trying to keep a high line. Westwood and Langmead are trying to keep a really high line, because they know of Gornell's pace, they know of Marvin Morgan's pace, and they're leaving big spaces behind, which they're going to love that front two. Yeah, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury Town 1 on BBC Radio Shropshire. Adebayo Akinfenwa gets away from Catonsville Sheriff. Neal comes out and a bit tentatively just scrambles the ball towards the fullback Hurst, and Hurst clears up towards halfway. Jacobs, who scored 2 wonderful goals here against Shrewsbury last season, overruns it, then he lunges in on Richards. Richards is not happy at all with the challenge. He runs towards Jacobs, angrily remonstrates, pushes him into the chest. He's intense, isn't he, Richards? Has he got a case? Yeah, he has got a case, Stuart. He's gone in for the tackle. He's got there a couple of seconds before
the Northampton player.
It's Jacobs, the captain.
Yeah, he's had he's knocked it off to McAllister, and the lads just followed through. And he's quite rightly to have a go at him. There's been nothing controversial about it. He's just got up and had a bit of a word with him.
Jacobs, it's a yellow card for Michael Jacobs. He's captaining Northampton for the first time today. He's a local boy, Northamptonshire boy. He's captain because the guy who normally captains the Cobblers, John Johnson, ex-Middlesbrough reserve, he's missing today. Jacobs, 20 years of age, with the armband for the first time and 20 minutes in. He gets a yellow card. He's got to book Richards as well here for the reaction.
Yeah, that's where football's wrong, Stuart. Absolutely wrong for me. I think Matt Richards has got every right to remonstrate with his opposing player. He's gone over the top. He's gone over the top on him, and you just can't get away with that. And for the referee to book him, they have to do it because their assessors are in the crowd. But it's wrong. It's wrong.
Hereford 1, Burton 0. Rob Purdy for Hereford at Edgar Street in League 2. Town a goal up here. Morgan rises 30 yards out. Loose ball could fall the way of Jacobson, who will let it drift into touch, and it's a Town throw taken by Jacobson. Headed in field by Gornell. Wildig beaten to it on this occasion. West Brom 1, Bolton 1 in the Premier League. Klasnich has equalised for Bolton after Jerome Thomas had given Roy Hodgson's Baggies the lead there, 1 apiece so at the Hawthorns. Ball's out of play. Northampton have a goal kick. Northampton 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, midway point of this first half. Still 0-0. Telford against Mansfield. Mansfield, former Football League club. A ground I must have gone to 10-11 times and was never fortunate enough to see a Shrewsbury Town victory. One of those bogey grounds. Cambridge, the Abbey Stadium, was another one where Shrewsbury never seemed to get anything. But they're 1 up here at Northampton. Gornell and Morgan combined well. Morgan in the penalty area, right hand side, cuts inside. Morgan shoots just over the top. Looked to bend it into the top corner. He knows that was pretty close as well, does Morgan. But he looks as though this could be the day he finally gets back on the score sheet. Goal kick Northampton there.
Yeah, you would like to think so, Stuart. Both Gornell, they're frightening the Northampton defence. Every time there's a ball through, it seems to just find a gap in the Northampton defence, and Gornell and Morgan are going to have a field day here today. They've just got to keep doing the right things. Yeah,
it could be a tough afternoon, couldn't it, for Messrs Westwood and Langmead, the Northampton centre halves. Jason Crowe now, the former Portsmouth and Arsenal man, with a nothing ball forward which goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. Stoke 1, QPR 1 in the Premier League. Heider Helgeson, the equaliser there for QPR in the Potters. As Neil, the keeper, plays it over halfway towards the gangly figure of Morgan. Came off Westwood last, and that will be a Shrewsbury Town throw midway inside the Northampton half, left hand side. Jacobson with it quickly, gets it back from Richards. Jacobson into the chest of Morgan, right, the goal scorer, to Richards. Good football from Shrewsbury Town. McAllister now 40 yards out, goes short to Jacobson, plays it down the line to the goal scorer, Wright and Morgan. Lovely give and go. Can Wright get away from the defender Tozer here? Tozer wins the race on this occasion and clears up towards Jacobs. But great pressure applied by Jacobson, and it will be a Northampton free kick in the end, in the right back position. Bradford 0, Rotherham 1. Lewis Grabham from the penalty spot. Where would Rotherham be without his goals? The last man to score against Shrewsbury Town, actually, Lewis Grabham. The small matter of, let's work this out, 439 minutes ago. What a terrific run that is for Shrewsbury Town. That came at around this stage, didn't it, at Rotherham? 25 minutes into that one, so effectively Town have gone 5 games now since they conceded. Terrific effort as Gornell gives away a free kick some 30 yards from the Northampton goal, and the home fans eerily quiet here. It's a tough watch, isn't it, for them at the moment, these Northampton fans?
Yeah, it's hard, Stuart, and any time a team is struggling, the fans are hoping to come and watch a performance over 90 minutes that's going to bring them joy, but at the moment, it's just good that there's so many Northampton fans are just turned up today, just to get raise their team.
Well, they have a throw here, advanced position, left hand side. We're at the back of the main stand, which is by far the biggest structure here at Six Fields. Good vantage point. 3 fairly small stands on the other 3 sides of the ground. Fading red plastic seats. and a crowd of about 4,500 maybe inside Six Fields today. Northampton with Jacobs on the left hand side, cuts inside, pings it into the box, and it's an easy take for the Shrewsbury Town goalkeeper, Chris Neal, who has not been seriously extended in these opening 25 minutes. All, dare I say, fairly comfortable for Shrewsbury at the moment.
Yeah, but 1-0's always a dangerous scoreline, isn't it? I think the fact that Northampton are like a caged tiger at the moment, they have got the players to do it, Stuart, but as I say, lacking in confidence at the moment, and Town playing really, really well.
Elsewhere in League Two, Kelvin Langmead equalised for Burton Albion at Hereford, one apiece in that one now at Edgar Street. What can we tell you on the manager watch or future manager watch? Usually the case, the manager loses his job on the Monday, and come the next home game there's lots of potential candidates having a look. Can't see too many well-known footballing names. That said,
a couple of your
ex-Derby mates here today. Geraint Williams or George Williams and Big Mick Harford.
That's right. Yes. I think they've worked together. I think at Leighton Orient at one stage when they were there, and they're probably having a look here today. Been invited by the management team or the chairman of Northampton Town.
He always struck me as a tough guy to play against, Mick Harford. I bet you were glad to have him on the same team, weren't you, at Derby County?
I didn't like sitting in the same room as him, Stuart, I can tell you.
So that's scary, really.
Yeah, he was my teammate as well.
Here's Aaron Wildig for Shrewsbury, just inside his own half. Long ball forward to Morgan, takes it down on the chest and feeds it to McAllister in the centre circle. Been neat and tidy at McAllister today. Town one up here at Northampton. Mark Wright, deflected goal from 20 yards on 17 minutes, giving Graham Turner's team the advantage. Long ball forward, poor touch from Westwood, the centre half, who's not looking convincing whatsoever. And that'll be a Shrewsbury throw, midway inside the Cobblers' half. Jacobson to McAllister, back to Jacobson. Plays it in field, cut out by Derek Niven, who's on loan from Chesterfield, where he's been a permanent fixture for so many years at Chesterfield. It's a good cross-field ball. Played towards Chris Arthur. Shows a bit too much of that to Hurst, who likes a tackle, goes in, wins it. Been quietly effective so far, James Hurst. Get Steve's thoughts on his Shrewsbury Town debut thus far in a moment. Here's Arthur, former Queen's Park Rangers player. Forward now to Berahino, to Jacobs. Jacobs shoots, always rising. Decent hit though, snapshot from Jacobs from 20 yards, over the top, goal kick.
Yeah, that's the only problem Town are going to have today, Stuart. The balls that are coming into Akinfenwa, they're sticking, and he's such a big object. Sharps and Council Sheriff are doing the best and doing really well against him, but every time the ball comes up, chest control, he just lays it off. They can't get any sort of tackling on him, and that's going to create chances for Northampton.
Telford still 0-0 against Mansfield in the Blue Square Premier. They'd love a clean sheet, wouldn't they, Telford? First and foremost, something on which to build, having been battered 4-0 at Chelmsford in the FA Cup a week ago. Here's Hurst, good ball forward down the inside right channel. Wildig up against Langmead, and Langmead a bit panicky, a bit twitchy. Could have got his foot on the ball and played a bit there, just only one intention, just get rid of it and put it into touch. And Shrewsbury have a throw 30 yards out. Hurst to Wildig, back to Hurst, the England under 20 international, back towards halfway, and Sharp's the captain, turns and finds Cancel Sheriff. Look at the space for Wright on this near side. Great ball from Cancel Sheriff to Wright, who controls it well, but then he slips and the flag was up for offside. In any case, Northampton fans not happy. They felt the advantage should have been applied there, and it should have, in fairness to them. Yeah,
it's a couple of occasions during this game, Stuart, where the referee and his officials have just got it slightly wrong. When teams are in possession, they want to get forward, and it's called the foul back. Sometimes you just have to let play go on.
28 minutes on the clock. Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 1. Stuart Dunn and the former Shrewsbury and Derby County midfielder Steve Cross, your commentary team here on 96 FM. Wildig, ball forward. Morgan and Wright give chase. Walker comes a long way and just about gets away with it. Loose clearance, well won back by Jacobs though, the young captain looking to drive his team on here. Over halfway it goes to Akinfenwa. Niven stabs it into the path of Jacobs, who has he kept it in? No, he hasn't, and that will be a Shrewsbury Town throw. You do sympathise to an extent with these Northampton players, because we've seen Shrewsbury teams down the years play with a similar sort of fragile state of mind, haven't we? You think of that Shrewsbury Town team that Paul Simpson inherited from Gary Peters, and even in the closing days of the Paul Simpson era, when Shrewsbury came to Northampton, I think it was Paul Simpson's last game, wasn't it, and played like a bit like Northampton are today, a side bereft of confidence and struggling. The only way you're going to get through it, though, is by playing yourself back into form, isn't it, Stu?
Yeah, you're right, Stuart. Yeah, it's all the players, I've just noticed the back four, every time they get it, they don't get it down and play. They just try and, get rid of it, clear it up to their centre forwards, whether it's, on the floor or in the ground, and they're just nervous at the moment.
Wigan 2, Blackburn 1, Steve Caldwell. Terry Gornell could be in trouble here with the ref. Morgan just won a flick on. The flag was clearly up for offside. Gornell ran on and hammered the shot over the bar. And now the referee just laying down the law. It was good refereeing, actually. Some refs would have pulled out the yellow card there, so that's good to see in any case. And no yellow card for Gornell. We played half an hour on BBC Shropshire, your number one station for sport. Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 1. Mark Wright is on the ball now, scored the goal on 17 minutes. Long ball over the top, heavy touch from Westwood. Out comes the keeper, and they're at 6s and 7s. Northampton at the back, as Gornell was putting the pressure on here. You sense if Town could get a second, and they could really go on and maybe fill their boots here.
Oh, it's all over, Stuart. If we score a second goal, you'll see Northampton collapse like a pack of cards. I'm telling you, they're so fragile at the moment.
That's a good ball forward from Wright to Gornell, working the channels on the left-hand side. Langmead comes across. Gornell shrugs him off with ease. Great ball from Gornell to Jacobson. First time ball in towards the far post. Wildig's in there. Oh, didn't connect. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Great ball. Teased in from the left-hand side, and Wildig is not the biggest. Didn't really jump with any conviction he was going to score, and the ball just glances off his head and goes wide. Goal kick.
Yeah, it's a chance, Stuart, a great chance. What a fantastic ball in from Joe Jacobson, absolutely whipped in with his left foot, and Wildig there at the back post. I think he just got eased out of it by the Northampton Town left back, but in that position you've got to get your body there and get your head in.
What a shame someone like Morgan wasn't on the end of that quality ball in from Joe Jacobson. Cardiff City past and present combining there for Shrewsbury Town. Jacobson, once of Cardiff, and Wildig, who is still of Cardiff. 21 games he's played for the Cardiff City first team. Had a quick word with him in the car park in Newport County last weekend. He was telling me he could have actually gone on loan to Newport County when Shrewsbury came in. I think he must have been relieved to have had that call, having been to Newport County last weekend. Much better to be playing in the Football League, isn't it, if you can? And that's what Wildig's doing at the moment. Town 1 up. 32 minutes on the clock, full value for this one goal advantage as well. Telford still 0-0 with Mansfield at the new Bucks Head. Interesting to see Telford sign Steve Jones yesterday, the former Crewe and Walsall and Northern Ireland player. I always liked him at Crewe, not quite sure of his age now, but he should do a decent job for Telford, you would hope. Great ball from Cansdale. Oh, now the flag goes up late against Wildig. As I look up, I can see the funfair in full operation behind it, all the flashing lights going, even though it's still daylight here in Northampton. Further we look, we can see the floodlights and the top of the stand at Franklin's Gardens, the home of Northampton Saints Rugby Club. We arrived ridiculously early in Northampton today, so we headed to the rugby ground, and myself and Steve Cross were given a very interesting tour, weren't we, by a very helpful security lady at the rugby club. They played Scarlets last night, Northampton Saints.
Yeah, very kind of the lady there. She was absolutely superb.
Yeah, still see the stands looking very smart. Nice stadium, holds about 14,000 people, and it was packed last night for that rugby match. Here's Richards for Shrewsbury on the left-hand side. Tozer comes across, still Richards, feeds it back to Morgan. Morgan delivers poorly, should be cleared easily enough, and it is. Niven, though, gives it away. Still Northampton struggling to clear the danger. Richards, good ball forward to Gornell, great ball towards Morgan, flags up for offside, and that will be a free kick to Northampton. Another goal elsewhere, I think it's in League 2. It's Crawley 2, Oxford 1. James Constable, Shrewsbury Town old boy, has got one back for Oxford. The leaders, Southend, being held 1-1 at Dagenham today. It started play. Southend 7 points clear of fourth placed Shrewsbury Town. Cheltenham in third, Crawley in second, Southend top of the tree after 17 games. Still a long way to go, isn't there? And Northampton 16 points on the board from 17 matches for them before kick-off this afternoon. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Cobblers 0, Shrewsbury 1, and Niven on the ball, losing his hair a bit thin on top, up towards Akinfenwa looks for Niven through the middle, well won by Richards, tracking back, does ever so well, wins it cleanly. Out ball from Sharps, he's overhit, no real chance for Morgan, and it goes through to the goalkeeper. Would you go on that ride, by the way, Steve? This massive ride which is just twirling people as high in the air as possible. No, I think you and me both. Let's watch the football. It is distracting though, isn't it? It's fun fair right next to the pitch. We've had all sorts of fun and games in Northampton today. An X Factor finalist from a couple of years ago, Lucy Jones, on the pitch singing for about 20 minutes ahead of the game. It's a family fun day for Northampton here. And here's Chris Arthur for the Cobblers, looking to give the youngsters in the crowd something to get excited about. Well played again though, from a combination of Wildig and Hurst. And it's a Northampton throw, 10 yards inside the Shrewsbury half. Left hand side, throw in taken down the line towards Berahino, who's actually a West Brom reserve teammate of James Hurst, so those two will know one another's game very well. They're on opposing sides today, and so far Hurst enjoying himself rather more because it's Shrewsbury who lead 1-0. Sharp, centre half, intercepts, goes short to Jacobson, now right infield to Richards, over halfway it goes. Gornell has to check his run, or we feared he'd be offside, and it goes all the way through to the Northampton keeper. The League Two leaders, Southend, are back in front at Dagenham. Dagenham 1, Southend 2, Liam Dickinson. Hereford 2, Burton 1. Tom Bark-Hewson, who's got a few goals for Hereford, on loan from Blackpool, got another one, 2-1 to Hereford, whose results have improved immeasurably, haven't they, since Gary Peters, ex-town gaffer, went in as director of football, and also Steve Leslie went there on loan from Shrewsbury Town. Leslie, who actually scored here at Northampton for Hereford a few weeks ago. Elsewhere in League Two, Gillingham going well, 2-0 up at Aldershot. Chris Whelpdale and Bradford 1, Rotherham 1. Bradford have equalised. Good play from Wildig here in the centre circle, wins it. Gornell, foul by Niven, down he goes, and referee Webb says that will be a free kick, taken quickly by Jacobson, too quickly for the referee's liking. So that will be a free kick to Shrewsbury Town. 10 yards inside the Cobblers half. Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 1. 8 minutes to play in this first half at Sixfields. David Lee, the Northampton manager, suited and booted, hands in pockets, caretaker manager. He's a decent player, I remember, when he came through as a youngster at Chelsea many moons ago. He's watching on here as Jacobson takes a free kick. Sharps beaten in the air, cleared by Jacobs. Cobblers can now maybe come forward. Has to check Jacobs. Plays the ball back to the fullback, Tozer. And the big centre half turned fullback, tends it forward. Akinfenwa's header in field is a bit loose, and it's easily seized upon by Hurst, and who plants it downfield. Wildig has put in a decent shift in this first half. Decent sort of player altogether, a different sort of player altogether to Ainsworth, who's helping Town keep their shape. He's been fairly neat and tidy. Everton 0, Wolves 1. Stephen Hunt from the penalty spot for Wolves at Goodison in the Premier League. Wolves, who were 4-0 winners here at Northampton earlier in the season in the Carling Cup second round. Defender's got to be careful here with Wright on his shoulder. He is Tozer, and just with a certain amount of assurity, just knocks it back to the goalkeeper. And Northampton will start again. Walker, who made a very good save from Gornell just after Wright had given Town the lead in this first half. Clears long downfield. Well won back by McAllister, who's been excellent so far. Wright looks to release Gornell through the middle. Cut out by Langmead this time. Now with Westwood. As Northampton just keep the ball. Jacobs, clever ball forward to Berahino. Control lets him down. Well won by Jacobson. Little bit better though from Northampton. This guy, clearly their best player, Jacobs, but he loses it now. Wildig, clever ball over the top. Gornell could be in here. Will the ball come down for Gornell? Battling with it. Gornell to Wright. Wright scores! 2-0 to Shrewsbury Town. Gornell did so well in the build-up. Wright then took command, took a touch, and bang into the bottom corner of the net. 2 for the winger Wright, 2 for Shrewsbury Town. The away fans are loving it here at Sixfields. 39 minutes on the clock. Northampton Town 0, Shrewsbury Town 2.
What a super goal, Stuart. Absolutely super goal. Wildig picking it up on the right-hand side. A lovely chip ball into the penalty area. Terry Gornell absolutely battled for. I think it was with Langmead. The ball has gone in between them. It's come into Wright's path. He's had a touch and then smashed it right into that bottom left-hand corner. some might call it lucky to went into right there, but he was there. He was there to stick it in the net, Stuart, and that's all we want from him.
Great hold-up play from Cornell. Lovely ball, as you say, from Wildig over the top, and well done, Mark Wright. We heard the interview before the game in which he was saying he was almost a victim of his own success in scoring 14 goals from out wide. Let's give this guy a bit of credit. In less than a season and a half as a winger, I know he has his critics among Shrewsbury fans, but he has got 20 goals from out wide in less than a season and a half. That's good going at any level, isn't it?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic, Stuart. You know, and as you say, he's one of these players that, you know, gets on the ball, he excites people.
2-0 Shrewsbury. What have Northampton got by way of reply? Good play from Arthur here. Fantastic header just wide for Berahino. Oh, good chance, very good chance. Best moment of the game for the Cobblers. Arthur did well down the left. And there's Berahino, the England under-20 centre forward on loan from Albion. And he plants his header narrowly wide, and still Town in no mood to concede a goal.
Well, they always say, Stuart, you're the most dangerous, you know, when you've just scored. And Town just switching off for a second there, right from that kick-off, going down that left-hand side. Hurst not just being able to keep up with the tricky left winger for Northampton. Great ball into the box, but poor header, should have scored.
Big test this, isn't it, for Northampton? Let's hope the Shrewsbury just continue to play as they are and go for the jugular. And just remember, a Shrewsbury Town starting 11 today, which has people like Nicky Rowe and James Collins and Lionel Ainsworth on the bench, and the likes of John Taylor and Tom Bradshaw who have travelled not even on the bench. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's great for Town. It's great for the Town fans who come and watch us away and at home, Stuart. It's competition for places, exactly what Graham Turner will have wanted. You know, it's no use having a squad, you know, and we've got a good squad as well, Stuart, of good players. That's the main thing. We haven't got any hangers on this year. I think we've got a squad of really good players.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Town have carried a few players, haven't they? When you look at it, the last few years, people like Lewis Neal and Chris Bright, who were just filling places and were never really going to play much of a part, it would seem. Northampton on the attack as they look for a way back into this one. Akinfenwa's touch is lousy, that, and Town clear with Wright up towards Morgan. Man City 1, Newcastle 0. Balotelli from the penalty spot for the top flight leaders. Man City 1, Newcastle 0. I just can't warm to that guy Balotelli. Yeah, he's a talented footballer, but he just seems to have, there's just something about him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a great player.
I keep forgetting he's only 20, Stuart.
He is. But, you like him?
I think he's a great footballer.
He's a good footballer. But something about him, the way he handles himself.
He rubs you up the wrong way, doesn't he?
He does, very much so. It's Town 2 up here, 2-0 against Northampton. Morgan on the attack, right-hand side. Ball runs away from him, and it goes behind. Goal kick to Northampton. Very subdued Sixfields. Managerless Northampton 0. Shrewsbury Town 2, and Mark Wright has got both of the goals. The first on 17, 20-yard shot, wicked deflection. Then on 39, good follow-up play from Wright after Gornell and Wildig had fashioned the opportunity, and an emphatic finish, smashed it from close range into the bottom corner of the net. 2-0 Shrewsbury, and they're full value for that lead as well. McAllister forward to Gornell, great control from Gornell into the penalty area. Turns, goes down, could break for Wildig. Deflection, yes! It's gone in! 3-0 to Shrewsbury Town. Aaron Wildig on loan from Cardiff City. Gornell involved in the move again. The ball ran the way of Wildig. Another significant deflection, and it beats the goalkeeper. And it's Northampton 0, Shrewsbury Town 3. Superb goal, Stuart.
You know, it's all about breaks in football, isn't it? You know, Town, I think, have had their share today. I think they've used probably the whole season's up with the deflections and ricochets going into players' paths. But you know, you've still got to score. You've still got to stick it in the net. Aaron Wildig, he's got himself into the box. It took a wicked deflection over the Northampton keeper, but who cares? 3-0 Town. They're rocking.
3-0 Shrewsbury Town, and we're not even at half-time. Look at the Northampton fans. It looks like a mass exodus from the seats as they head down to the buffets at half-time. Who knows, some of them might even be heading for the exits. I'd like to think they're going to stay with their team, but you never know. It is very dispiriting, isn't it, for Northampton? Jacobs now on the charge, fouled on the edge of the box for McAllister, and this is dangerous because Northampton have got people in this team who can hurt teams. Davis and Jacobs, both good free kick takers. It's 20 yards out, and Town cannot afford to get complacent here. Yes, they're in the box seat, they're 3 up, but a goal here could yet put a different complexion on things.
Yeah, it could, Stuart, and I think I saw one of the best free kicks I've ever seen last year. I can't remember who scored it, but yeah, Jacobs absolutely screamed it in that top corner, so Town have got to be on there.
He scored two of the best goals here against Shrewsbury that I've seen from any player at any level. Man City 2, Newcastle 0. Mika Richards with a second for the Premier League leaders. Free kick then to Northampton. Stoke 1, QPR 2. Luke Young, the defender, the goal scorer there. Clarence the Dragon, the Northampton mascot, has found himself a drum and he's banging it here. Northampton free kick. Town have got a massive wall. Must be 8 players in that defensive wall. 22 yards out. 3 minutes of stoppage time, we've just been told, will be played here. Free kick. Wall did its job. Jacobs took it. Good header won by McAllister, and Northampton sling it back into the box. Good header out by McAllister. Northampton send it back towards their own goalkeeper. Everton have equalised against Wolves in the top division. Filya Gelka, whose brother Steve, former Shrewsbury man, continues to live in Shrewsbury. Stevie Gelka, who played for Telford and Market Drayton as well. I'm told in my headphones the video printer was given the third goal to Terry Gornell. Definitely not. It's clearly Wildig, and it took a deflection. So the video printer.
There might be a few dubious decisions today. The dubious panels will have to get on that first one, Stuart.
I think we'll have one of those corrections in a moment, maybe. We shall see. But it's 3-0 Shrewsbury. Wildig for sure. Shot came in, took a deflection. And it's 3-0 to Shrewsbury Town, who are coming forward here in search of a fourth. That sounds good, doesn't it? Good for the goal difference as well, this. Town throw-in near the corner flag. Jacobson to Richards, to Wright, who's on a hat-trick. Spins inside, and the flag's up for offside against Wildig, who's done well. It's only his second goal, you know, in the Football League. His first, that came at St James's Park against Newcastle United. The season Newcastle were in the Championship, so that's not bad, is it? Scoring at St James's.
That's that on your CV. No, definitely not.
And now he's got a goal at Sixfields, albeit with a deflection. 3-0 Shrewsbury Town. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Jacobson plants it forward. Morgan is onside here, and he's winning the race easily with Westwood. Morgan does really well in the build-up. Beats it back to Wright. Wright goes short to Jacobson, oozing with confidence. The Shrewsbury Town players here. Wright, 30 yards out, plays it through the middle. Oh, that was close. Just caught Gornell on a different wavelength, and it goes all the way through harmlessly in the end to Walker, the Northampton keeper, who gets rid quickly towards Berahino. Finds Chris Arthur. Arthur, 30 yards out, having a go at Hurst. Arthur still, great tackle from Hurst. Telescopic leg there almost from the debutant right back. Really well played, Northampton throw. I like the look of this, but
yeah, it is, Stuart. You know, he's learnt as well, because the last time that the Northampton winger was up against him, he gave him a yard's pace and he let him get across him, but this time he was right on his shirt tails and just give him nothing at all.
Welcome to DAB listeners, by the way, to Sixfields, half-time in the Telford game. Telford 0-0 with Mansfield. Off to join Nick Southall very soon at the Buckshead. Shrewsbury Town are 3-0 up here against Northampton Town. The guy on the board has got two of them. Mark Wright looks for Morgan. Does really well on the left-hand side. Morgan wins Town a throw deep into Northampton territory. 3 and easy for Graham Turner's men here. Is there time for a fourth before the interval? Mark Wright, no there isn't. There's half-time. Listen to the boos from the dissatisfied Northampton Town supporters.
And well, I think they're out. Northampton Town 0, Shrewsbury Town 3.
Just about good to go. Northampton 0, Shrewsbury Town 3. Yeah, very sad to hear that news about Basil D'Oliveira. I was sat at the same table as his son Damon D'Oliveira at a Shrewsbury Cricket Club do a few weeks ago. So very sad news indeed. Shrewsbury 3 goals to the good here at Northampton Town. No changes made. No surprises there by Graham Turner at half-time. No changes made by David Lee, the caretaker manager of Northampton. The way it's going, it could be an extremely short-lived caretaker stint as well for David Lee. Northampton next in action next weekend when they go down to Plymouth Argyle. Here's Morgan, shoots from a long way out, and it's almost knocked over the corner flag. He must have had a go there from all of 30 yards. He was one of those that looks great if it whistles into the top corner. Not so great when it almost knocks over the corner flag. It has just gone behind. Goal kick Northampton. Good to see at least the big man's prepared to to have a go from anywhere, even though he hasn't scored for a while.
Yeah, it sat up nice, didn't it, Stuart? A little knockdown from one of the Northampton Town centre-halves, and he was onto it like a flash, and yeah, have a go at it. Unfortunately, as I say, nearly knocked the corner flag over.
Just wonder what Graham Turner would have said to his boys at half-time. Just more of the same? Is it that simple?
Yeah, you're right, Stuart. Don't give Northampton any sort of incentive, in the second half, and you can go out and you can win 5 or 6 here, and I'm sure the Town players will know that. Don't start trying to be clever, doing your step overs, and just keep playing the game the way you've done in the first half.
They've worked hard to get themselves into this commanding 3-goal advantage. Richards, though, being pestered by Adebayo Akinfenwa. Here he goes, he's gone down now, Adebayo Akinfenwa, and he's won a free kick, and Jacobson is livid. Free kick on the edge of the box. Jacobson goes racing across to the referee, David Webb, protesting his innocence, but it's a yellow card for the fullback. David Dunn has been sent off for Blackburn at Wigan for a second booking. A yellow card here, no red card thankfully for Jacobson. Akinfenwa did well, first time he's really come alive all game there.
Yeah, I thought he was unlucky, Jacobson, there. I thought he got some of the ball, Stuart. It was a terrific tackle, and he's just nudged the ball away from Akinfenwa, and obviously being such a big bloke, Akinfenwa's gone down like a herd of elephants, but it's set up a...
It's a nice analogy, Steve.
Well, it's set up a dangerous free kick.
It is, yeah.
Stuart.
It is a dangerous one. They had one from a similar sort of position in the first half late on, and they wasted it. Jacobs hit it, the wall did its job. But Northampton, a goal here could give them the sniff of a fight back. Town have built a 4-man defensive wall. Jacobs looks as though he's going to have a go. Tozer's there as well. Jacobs, the captain. Would it be seniority that counts? No, it'll be Tozer who has a go. He blasts it and he scores straight through the wall. And Town finally concede. They haven't conceded for well over 450 minutes. But Tozer's free kick has gone through the wall. And it could, whisper it quietly, maybe be the start of a Northampton unbelievable fight back here. 49 minutes on the clock, Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3.
Well, that's the last thing that Town manager Graham Turner will have wanted. He'd gone in at 3-0, cock a hoop, and just said, yeah, keep doing the same things. Do not give Northampton any sort of incentive. You can hear the crowd there, they're up on the feet, cheering. It's worst possible thing that could have happened in this second half, Stuart.
Well, let's see how Town react to that one then. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3. No time for any unnecessary panic. Towns do still have this 2-goal buffer, and they've got the players you would think to hurt Northampton, but it's given some hope at least for Northampton. Crow now comes forward from the back. Akinfenwa, who won the free kick, which Jacobson was so unhappy about, it's ended up in the back of the net, and the ball this time ends up with the goalkeeper, Chris Neal. How will Town react to the shock almost of conceding? Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3. Ben Tozer, the big fullback, hammering in a free kick which went through the wall. Morgan wins a flick on at the other end. McAllister trying to get involved for Shrewsbury Town. Northampton come away with it. Oh, well played again from Hurst. He looks quality, this boy. Purposeful run forward from Hurst. Challenge comes in from Jacobs, who's putting himself about, and it will be a Shrewsbury throw adjacent to the edge of the 18-yard box. Hurst with it to Wildig. Hurst delivers it to the box. Decent ball as well. Just too high for Gornell, and it's easily gathered by Walker for Northampton. Northampton with renewed belief they can pull something out of the bag here. Header won by Berahino. Niven now. Intelligent ball forward here. Tozer's up again from right back, and well played this time from Caswell. Sheriff. The entire mood around Six Fields has changed.
Yeah,
they've been lifted, the players, the fans.
Town have just got to get the ball on the floor against Stuart, keep possession, keep it into the Northampton half.
Here comes a long throw, could break for Akinfenwa, and it's Hurst who clears in the nick of time. Real zest about Northampton all of a sudden. Amazing what a difference a goal can make to a team. Wildig, who scored Town's third on the stroke of half-time via a deflection. Up towards McAllister. Richards now looks to spread the point of play from right to left. It's one of those hidden hope balls which are good when they come off. He undercooks it this time and gives play straight back to Northampton. Big 10 minutes coming up in this game. Town cannot afford to give Northampton any more encouragement. Niven now lifts it over the top. Good header won by Hurst. It's like a cup tie all of a sudden. It has that sort of feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Stuart. You know, it's just given them a lift, doesn't it? A bit of an incentive. You know, they think they can get themselves back into this game. It's up to Town.
Here's Aaron Davis, shoots him a long way out, it moves in the end. Neil can't hold it. And Berahino on the follow-up, and he's beaten to it by Sharps. Uncomfortable moment there for Neil. Shot from Davis, it clearly moved in the air. Did just about enough the Shrewsbury keeper. Much better from Northampton. Come on, Cobblers, chant the long-suffering Sixfield faithful. Here's Tozer. Ball into Akinfenwa. Berahino. Forward to Tozer again, who shows a heavy touch. And a good tackle comes in from Kansdale Sheriff. And that'll be a Northampton throw on the halfway line. A big Devon derby in League Two today. Struggling Plymouth 2-0 down at Plainmoor to Torquay United. Ewan O'Kane, same division. Darryl Duffy penalty. Cheltenham flying high 1. Port Vale 0. Jacobs chips it forward. Headed away well by Kansdale Sheriff on the edge of his penalty area. Much better this from Northampton Town. They were unrecognisable from the team who stumbled their way through the first half, Steve. Incredible transformation.
That's the way with professional footballers, Stuart. There's a little bit of confidence edged into them, and they look like world beaters, don't they? But it's up to Town just to dampen it down, Stuart. Just really dampen it down and give them nothing else.
This is where Town needs your Sharps and your Kansdale Sheriffs to try and slow it down. Here's Niven. Niven shoots, all just wide. Good hit from Niven. Snapshot 20 yards out after some unconvincing defensive play from Shrewsbury Town. And that was close to 3-2. This is when Sharps and Cone, looking at the team, it's a young team, isn't it, Steve? Even someone like McAllister, who's played at a big club like Sheffield Wednesday, is still only, 23, 24. Richards, 26. I guess it's the next whole head in there with Wright.
Yeah, you're right, Stuart. Yeah, and as I say, there's not many leaders on the field apart from your captain, really. You know, all young lads. And this is a battle for them. It's a test.
It is a test. Town, though, do lead by 3-1. Gornell, who wrongly has been credited with the third goal on the major news organisations today. Wright into the box to Morgan. Good close control from Morgan. Turns again. Plays it back to Gornell. Good football from Shrewsbury Town. Richards now takes over 20 yards out and telegraphs a pass. Well in, though, Gornell into the tackle. Northampton closed ranks and they clear up towards Berahino once again. Town dink it back. Wright, who scored twice in the first half, to McAllister. McAllister short to Richards. Challenge comes in quickly, incisively from Jacobs. And Shrewsbury have a throw midway inside the Cobblers' half. Left-hand side, just have to try and take the sting out of this one and get back to what they did so well in the first period. McAllister, that'll do. All the way back to the goalkeeper from halfway, if that's what it takes.
Yeah, that's all they do. It just kills it off, Stuart, you know. And then Matt Richards has got on the ball as well in the last couple of minutes. Just calmed it down, just playing the ball around, you know, little triangles in the middle of the field, taking the sting out of it.
Mark Wright, good turn of pace. Has he got the legs to keep it in? Not quite. Good idea. Fans applaud his intentions. Ball ran away from him in the end, though, and it goes behind for a goal kick. 55 minutes on the clock. BBC Shropshire, Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3. Reminder of the two-team lineups, by the way. Shrewsbury, Neil in goal, back for Hurst. That's James Hurst, who's making his debut on loan from West Brom. Sharps, Kansdale Sheriff and Jacobson. In midfield, Wildig, McAllister, Richards and Wright, and up front Gornell and Morgan. Northampton on the attack. They've got a throw 20 yards from the Town goal. Walker is their keeper. At the back, throw, Westwood, Langmead and Tozer. In midfield, Davis, Jacobs, Niven and Arthur, and the front two, Akinfenwa and Berahino. Rotherham are 2-1 up at Bradford in League Two. Alex Revel for the Millers. Dagenham 2, the leaders. Southend 2. Abu Agogo for Dagenham. Stoke 1, QPR 3 in the top division. Helgeson second of the game. Long throw into the box. Berahino shot straight at Neil. Should have buried it. Should have broken the net. And Graham Turner is livid. Just a long throw hurled into the Town box. No one cleared. And Berahino 8 yards out. Little toe poke. Easy save in the end.
Yeah, should have scored, Stuart. You know, it's come across the side from a long throw. And I think it's took him by surprise as well. He's just got a foot on it. And it's more of a half volley into Chris Neil's hands. But it just shows you, Stuart, you know, it changes so quickly, doesn't it?
Premier League goal, West Brom 2, Bolton 1. Shane Long of the Republic of Ireland, the goal scorer there. Town 3-1 up here at Northampton, but it's all cobblers in this second half since they got one back through Tozer. Akinfenwa gives it to Crowe here. Crowe works it in field to Niven, much more involved in the second half, the on-loan Chesterfield man. Uses Tozer, ball loaded into the box, headed away well by Cansdell Sheriff. Berahino on the turn. Foul by Akinfenwa. Cobblers fans not happy, and that will be a Shrewsbury free kick, and Sharps will take his time. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 3. We played 57 minutes. All the lights are on the funfair now as darkness begins to draw in here. You can see the bright lights of Northampton Town Centre in the distance as well. The floodlights not in need today of Northampton Rugby Club, but Franklin's Gardens, we can pick them out as well over yonder. But it's a 3-1 Shrewsbury Town. Telford still 0-0, by the way, with Mansfield in the Blue Square Premier. Full commentary on our DAB platform and also online, www.bbc.co.uk/Shropshire. Nick Southall and Chris Hudson taking you through all the action from Wellington. Here's Hurst. Oh, that's late. Very late challenge comes in from Chris Arthur. Should be a yellow card at least. Blatantly late, unbelievably late. Yeah, it was, Stuart. Yeah, he just followed through, hasn't he? Hurst has played the ball, and I don't think he'll come out of the tackle. It's one of those where it's a 50-50 or a 60-40 in favour of the player on the ball, and he's just caught him, and he'll get booking for that. But unbelievably, I don't think he is, Steve. Most blatant booking of the season for me. And it's just going to be a talking to. No, he's got away with it, Stuart. You're right. Strange. Very strange. Town free kick though. 40 yards out, right hand side. Matt Richards, once of Ipswich Town, is going to take it. Number 14 on the back of his shirt. Nicky Rose warming up here, by the way. Lionel Ainsworth as well. Richards delivers towards the far post. Cleared by Westwood, who had such a jittery first half. Wigan 2, 10-man Blackburn 2 in the top division. Hoylett has equalised for the 10 men of Blackburn Rovers. Balls into touch. Shrewsbury have a throw to be taken here by James Hurst. 3 times he started for the West Brom first team last season. At Fulham in the Premier League, at Reading in the FA Cup, and at Ipswich Town in the Carling Cup quarter-finals. Very highly rated youngster at West Bromwich Albion. He was on loan at Blackpool earlier this season, but Roy Hodgson took him back because he only made a couple of sub-appearances under Ian Holloway. Good ball in from Hurst this time. Into the box it goes, cleared by Tozer. Towards Jacobs. Jacobs' little reverse ball. Back to Niven, who plants it forward. Header well won by Cansdell Sheriff. There's a good outball towards Gornell, who had a very effective first half. Scored on the last 2 Saturdays. He'd love to get another one today. Good ball in field here to Wright. Jake Robinson's about to come on for Northampton Town, by the way. Former Shrewsbury Town centre forward. That's late again from Berahino. Left his calling card there on Ian Sharps, the captain. I don't think the referee's seen it, Steve. No, he didn't, Stuart. He was following the flight of the ball as Sharps cleared the ball. The referee's following the flight of the ball, and Berahino's just come and caught him. You know, it's another booking, and it should have been a stoppage in play. Crawley a 4-1 up on Oxford in League 2. Dean Howell, who scored against Shrewsbury in October, has got another one for the West Sussex club today. 4-1 they lead. That's a tough place to go, isn't it? Down to Crawley. As Town will vouch for that fact. Let's have a look at the clock. An hour played. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3. It's an all-action second half. Northampton really giving it a good go as they chase the game. They've got one back. Have they got a couple more goals in their locker though? Jake Robinson waiting in the wings to try and do something for them. I think that's Sean Parrish on the bench as well for Northampton, the former Shrewsbury and Telford man who's youth team coach here. Richards on the halfway line, prods it forward to Gornell, who turns, gives it neatly to the 2-goal player today, Mark Wright. He scored twice in the first half. Wildig also scored via a deflection. Jacobson forward to Morgan, beaten in the air by Langmead. Gornell backheel to Wright, who went to hit it first time. Blocked by Langmead. Town keep the pressure on here. Wright, who's on a hat-trick. Goes short to Jacobson, to Wright. Oh, they work it well. Jacobson now in the area, pulls it back. Shooting chance for Gornell. It's blocked and hammered away by Crowe. Really good football from Shrewsbury Town. Better from Graham Turner's high flyers. As Jacobson makes a tackle. He's got to be careful here. Joe Jacobson. He's been booked already, and the ref wants another word with him here.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a word in his ear, just saying, look, got to be careful. Just got to be careful. It's a sliding tackle, isn't it? And I don't think it was malicious from Joe Jacobson. I think the referee understands that, but he's just given a little bit of a warning.
Listen to the boos from the away end as Jake Robinson comes on here. My ears weren't deceiving me there, were they, Steve? They weren't clearly boos.
No, yeah, they've got a point, haven't they, really? It's...
But Langmead got a good reception ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think...
Not such a warm welcome for Jake Robinson.
Yeah, let in a bit of a cloud, didn't he?
And he played his part, didn't he, in Torquay getting through to the playoff final at Shrewsbury's expense last season. And he could be involved straight away here, Robinson, who's yet to score for Northampton, by the way. I say those words with a heavy heart almost, because we know he can be a good player on his day, Robinson. Jacobs delivers from the left-hand side, well taken by Neil. It was an awkward ball for the keeper, and he watched it all the way, and he holds on. BBC Radio Shropshire, 96 FM. Stuart Dunn and Steve Cross at Sixfields enjoying this one. Lots of action. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 3. Tamworth 3 up at half-time. Wright 2 and Wildig, the scorers. Northampton got one back through a Tozer free kick at the start of the second half. Here come Town forward though with Gornell. They'd love a fourth to, you would think, kill the game off once and for all. But where there's hope, there's life for Northampton. Robinson plays it forward here towards Berahino. Berahino forgets to take the ball with him. Well won back here by Wildig on the right hand side, clips it intelligently forward to Gornell, back to goal. Gornell turns, sharp tackle from Langmead, well won back by McAllister. McAllister, edge of the box, looks for the give and go with Morgan, doesn't get it back. Morgan now to Hurst, good position for Hurst, gets to the byline, pulls it back, great ball in, he's taken it out before he whipped it in. That was close. It will be a goal kick to Northampton.
Yeah, good play again, good hold of play then from Marvin Morgan. Lovely work from McAllister, picking up all the loose bits. Out to Hurst on this right hand side, and the save just took it back the full back and just played out of play. But I think Town are just back in the groove, Stuart, just getting themselves settled down again and back into this game.
Telford still 0-0 with Mansfield. They'd love a clean sheet, wouldn't they? Telford haven't had them for a while. I think I'm right into that. Yet still 0-0 the Telford game with Mansfield. Richards now for Town. Over halfway it goes to Morgan. Morgan shows a bit too much of that to Town old boy Langmead, playing at the back. He's on a 3-month loan from Peterborough. Kelvin Langmead, who seemingly has no real future at London Road under Darren Ferguson, played fairly regularly for them last season in their promotion season from League One. But it seems as though Langmead might be looking for another club. Stoke 2, QPR 3. Ryan Shawcross has got one back for Stoke there at the Britannia Stadium. It's going to be a free kick, is it, here to Shrewsbury Town?
I think Chris Neal's just saying the ball's flat, and he wants the referee. Know. Yeah, he wants the referee to replace it, which is exactly what they're doing. He's
touched it far more, hasn't he, in this second half as Jake Robinson turns and hammers the ball out of play, almost hit Graham Turner unwittingly. Nice little sidestep.
Didn't do that on purpose, did he?
I'm sure he didn't. I know he didn't. let's knock that rumour on the head here and now. He did. He just kicked the ball out, and he went a bit close to the manager. But Robinson had his back to Graham Turner at the time. There's nothing happening there, no hidden agenda.
I believe you, Stuart, I believe you, honestly.
Well, you know how people do take the wrong end of the stick at times. They look for hidden meanings. Shrewsbury 3-1 up here, 20 minutes to go at Sixfields. Temperature is beginning to bite a little bit. Still not bad though, is it, for the middle of November, the temperature. Here's Gornell for Shrewsbury Town. Midway inside the Northampton half, finds Mark Wright. Wright gets his head up nice and early, picks out an intelligent cross-field ball to Wildig. Wildig plays it back to Hurst, whips it in, header from Gornell, well wide. Nicely worked. Nice little pockets of play from Shrewsbury Town at the moment.
Yeah, they're doing well. Like Aaron Wildig, Stuart, he played in the middle of a 3, didn't he, or on the right hand side of a 3 last week at Newport County, and he's doing well on this right hand side today. He's a talented footballer, and I think talented footballers can play anywhere, and he just plays the game at a nice easy pace, and he's doing really well on this right hand side.
It's been very shrewd for me, Graham Turner, this season. He hasn't gone into the loan market that early in the campaign. He's bided his time, but now he's gone in 3 times and he's brought in 3 very good players. James Wallace we still wait to see the best of after his red card on debut at Dagenham, but he's got a good pedigree from Everton. And these 2 boys playing today, Wildig of Cardiff and Hurst of West Brom, 2 classy young players. He clearly has an eye for a player, does his homework, doesn't go lunging in and and make panicky loan signings. We've had some loan players who haven't pulled up too many trees down the years, but the players that have come in this season clearly look as though they are going to be assets who are going to strengthen the Shrewsbury side. Cheltenham 2, Port Vale 0. Luke Summerfield, son of ex-Town man Kevin, has got the goal there. Luke Summerfield, who had a short trial at Shrewsbury in the summer. Cheltenham 2, Port Vale 0. 23 minutes to go here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 3. And Shrewsbury having a more equal share of possession in the last 10 minutes or so after Northampton came out with all guns blazing once Tozer gave them hope by clawing one back at the start of the second half. Walker, the keeper, clears downfield. Good header won by the captain, Sharps. And as far as Jacobs. And now Town can bring it away again. Clever play, nice skill from Wildig. Turns it forward to Gornell. Beaten in the air by Westwood, who's not happy with the challenge from Gornell, who just waves his arm in the air as if to say, what's your problem? But the referee does want a word with Terry Gornell. In fact, he summons both players towards him. Couldn't see an awful lot wrong with Terry Gornell's challenge.
It's a 50-50 header, Stuart. You know, he's got to. If he's going to book him for this, no, he's not. He's going to talk to him. He's got a challenge for the ball. You know, he'd have Graham Turner on his back if he didn't challenge for the ball. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Midway point of this second period then. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 3. All the fun of the fair, literally on and off the field today here at Sixfields. Telford still deadlocked 0-0 with Mansfield as Walker, the keeper, pumps it downfield. Too high for Langmead, who'd made his way forward. Seems a long time ago, doesn't it? The Kelvin Langmead was a young centre forward making his way in the game with Shrewsbury Town at Gay Meadow under Gary Peters. Now a centre half, and he couldn't get anything on that one. And it goes behind, and that will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. James Collins warming up, scored a beauty here last season. Got another cap for the Irish under-21s on Monday. Won a penalty actually in their 2-0 win over Liechtenstein in Sligo. Tom Bradshaw's also been overseas. He's been in Armenia with Wales in the 21s. Played the whole game. Not involved on the bench today though, owing to Town's strength in depth. Northampton come forward here with Adebayo Akinfenwa. Finds Niven. 40 yards out. Morgan tackling back. And Niven lifts it forward poorly. And boom, that'll do anywhere for Jacobson. Puts his left boot through that one. And he goes all the way downfield. And is collected by the Northampton Town goalkeeper, Walker, who plays it out first time to Westwood. Dagenham 2, Southend 3. Kane Ferdinand is second of the game for the League 2 leaders down at Victoria Road. Foul here by Cansdale Sheriff, and that will be a yellow card for the Town man. Cansdale Sheriff on Berahino.
Thought he was unlucky there, Cansdale Sheriff, Stuart. You know, Kane. I know some people say we see the eyes through Shrewsbury Town, but for me, you know, they're soft fouls. They're not bookings. They're not, you know, maliciously trying to hurt another player. Just mistimed his tackle.
It's a long way out, this free kick. Could be worth a punt though. It's got to be at least 30 yards out. Same two players standing over it as were involved in the Northampton set-piece goal. Jacobs and Tozer, who have both shown they can hit a ball sweetly. Jacobs has a go. What a hit! Oh, just over. What a hit that was. He can strike a ball. I don't think this boy's going to be playing in League 2 for too much longer, Michael Jacobs.
No,
very good
player.
player.
He's a good player, isn't he, Stuart? I think there has been a few clubs watching him as well. You know, there's always, the vultures always hovering around, aren't they, when a team aren't doing very well and their younger players are up for grabs. But yeah, tremendous free kick there, and Chris Neal just saw that sail over his bar. But Town have just got themselves, let's say, back into the groove, Stuart. They're passing the ball well, and they're just seeing this game out. Do
you foresee any changes imminently from Graham Turner, Collins and Ainsworth?
I just thought we might see Collins come on and have a bit of a cameo role. I think
like he did at Dagenham the other week when he did so well, didn't he?
Because Morgan and Gornell have got through a hell of a lot of work today.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me maybe if Collins does get a run. He brought so much energy to the Shrewsbury side when he came on for the last half hour or so at Dagenham a fortnight ago. Chased so many lost causes, won a penalty, scored a penalty, and he'd love to get involved here. James Collins, the former Aston Villa reserve team centre forward, who's got a very good goals to game ratio actually for Shrewsbury Town. Here's at Morgan for Town, battling on the left hand side, looks for Wright. Northampton emerge with it this time. Jacobs plays it square to Jason Crowe, the former Portsmouth man, slows it down to walking pace. Then a nice little reverse ball to Robinson, playing on the left hand side of midfield. having a go at Hurst. What can he do here, Robinson? Nice deft skills, works it infield to Niven. Good tackle from Gornell. Such a hard-working centre forward. He's ran about 40 yards there to make the tackle.
Both of them today, Stuart. I just saw Marvin Morgan there trying to close down all over the pitch, trying to close down 3 or 4 players. It does help when you've got your centre forwards chasing like the defenders do.
Man City 3 and Newcastle 0. Sergio Aguero penalty. 3rd goal there for the Premier League leaders. This is it. Careful, careless from McAllister. Oh, he does well to get a second stab at it. Almost a suicidal chest back into his area. Berahino almost got in there, but then well done, McAllister kept chasing and he won it back. Still Northampton come forward. Then the move breaks down and Shrewsbury will have a throw in the left back position. 18.5 minutes to play on BBC Radio Shropshire. Shrewsbury lead by 3 goals to 1 here at Sixfields. Seems hard to believe this was such a wretched ground for Shrewsbury, wasn't it, for so many years? I think they lost 5 on the bounce here, hadn't even scored a goal until last season. Then they go and win 3-2 here last season, then they've scored 3 again today. Funny how things can change. They have to defend here again, Shrewsbury Town. Torquay 3-0 up on Plymouth Argyle in League 2. Danny Stevens, it's going to be a long throw from Tozer here into the heart of the town penalty area. Here it comes towards the near post, well headed away by Cansdell Sheriff. Niven will keep the pressure on. He turns, got options right and left. Morecambe 1, Crewe 0. Kevin Ellison, the goal scorer. He's on a good season. Ball loaded into the town box. Good hands from the goalkeeper Chris Neal. Already looking ahead. Could be quite a tasty game at the Greenhouse Meadow next Saturday. First of all, it will be nice to be back at the Meadow. First time in 4 Saturdays. Shrewsbury and Morecambe going head to head. 2 teams in the top 5.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Town get a result here today, Stuart. Keeping our place in the table. Morecambe are doing well. What a fantastic game to look forward to.
Certainly will. Let's hope Town can look forward to it with 3 points in the bank today. Great ball for Jacobson. Wright could be in for the hat-trick. Wright goes for goal, saved by the keeper, and Northampton scrambling behind for a corner. That was the chance. Decent effort actually from Wright. Opened up his body, took the shot on after a great ball for Jacobson. Good save, goalkeeper. Town corner.
Yeah, tremendous ball from Joe Jacobson. Great vision inside the fullback. Mark Wright cutting in. Good save from the keeper.
Good football all round. Town corner. They're to be taken by Mark Wright, who'd love a hat-trick. Almost got it there. He's going to load this ball into the box. Morgan's in there. The 2 centre-halves have made their way forward. Here it comes towards the near post, and it's been turned wide. We've got the last touch there. Was it Morgan?
It was, Stuart, yes. I think it was a little bit of back heel. I think he just couldn't turn his body around to face it towards the goal. Just a little bit of back heel, and went wide of the left-hand post.
Collins and Ainsworth having a good conversation. Not doing an awful lot of warming up at the moment, just the occasional raised leg every now and again, but they're watching on here as Wildig breaks forward down the right-hand side. Played well today, young Wildig, on his league debut for Shrewsbury Town, on loan from Cardiff City. To Hurst, he's had a very good debut as well, the West Bromwich Albion teenager. It's good football from Shrewsbury Town. Right to McAllister, back to Wright on the left-hand side, good-looking ball in towards Morgan. Oh, great header away by Westwood, only as far as Wildig on the right-hand side of the box. Wildig pulls it in towards Gornell. Great first touch from Gornell, and it's scrambled away by Davis for the Cobblers. Good football though from Shrewsbury Town as they look to kill it. Hurst, who's a tall player, must be about 6'2", 6'3". In terms of how he looks, he's not dissimilar to Connor Goldson, the man he's come in for today. You might have thought he would have played if Graham Turner hadn't brought in anybody on loan. Very, very similar, those two, in terms of how they look and the way they play as well, the way they run. Here's Robinson for Northampton. Poor ball, easily cut out by McAllister. Richards for Town. Good, sensible play again from Richards. Having a good run of form at the moment. Finds it Wright here. Wright goes back to Jacobson. Good ball forward onto the chest of Morgan. Morgan battling hard. Takes 2 to stop him. And Cobblers have to go all the way back to Walker. Get Steve's thoughts on his man of the match in the next 5 minutes or so. And Town fans, remember, as always, have your say on the verdict with Adam after 5. Akinfenwa on the move here for Northampton. Has support from Robinson. Oh, that's poor from Robinson. Telegraphed it. Not a favourite, is he here? Jake Robinson, far from it. Just hasn't happened for him. Unusual for Robinson. Normally he starts well at clubs and then perhaps fades away a little bit. But it's been the other way round so far for him. He just hasn't got going at all for Northampton. Wildig, long ball forward. Morgan gives chase, should be the goalkeepers. Morgan could be in on the keeper, and Walker just about does enough to win it for the Cobblers. The verdict with Adam then after 5, 01743 248 321. Or send a text 81333 81333. Just make sure you begin your messages with the word FROP. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 3, still 0-0. Telford against Mansfield. It would be a start, wouldn't it, for Telford after they've had a tough few weeks. Really dispiriting run of results for Andy Sinton's side. They've got another home game next up against Barrow, so a chance for them maybe to steady the ship. James Collins, I think, is going to come on. Mike Jackson summoning Collins towards him. No, just tells him to do a bit more. And Nicky Rowe warming up as well. The ball's out of play. Northampton throw on the right hand side. Cobblers are about to make another change here. Tad Purcell, the Irish centre forward, about to come on. Ball loaded into the box, headed on by Niven. And Hurst should clear here for Shrewsbury Town. Good strong play again from Hurst. He looks a player, this boy. Great signing, it would seem. Good outboard as well to Wildig. Options here. Look at the run here from Gornell. Wildig goes the other way to Morgan. Gornell waiting in the middle. Morgan looks for him, pulls it back, and it's hammered away by Tozer. Exciting counter-attack. Gornell's frustrated. Ball just wouldn't come his way. But well played from Wildig again at the heart of that move. Purcell about to come on then. Remember him, Steve, scoring for Darlington and that dismal home defeat against rock bottom Darlington under Paul Simpson.
I do.
He's about to come on. Now of Northampton, who are coming forward here. Robinson shoots, Smith hits it, could break, and it's wide from Davis. What an opportunity! Aaron Davis, 10 yards out, goal gaping. Then he pulls it the wrong side of the post and Town get lucky.
Yeah, that was a let off Stewart. It was a wide open goal, wasn't it? Gaping for him. He's opened his body up, trying to curl it into that bottom left-hand corner of the net, but just wide, luckily for Town. And Northampton bringing on their substitute now. Town have just got to see this game out, Stuart. Just be professional about everything they do in this last 10-12 minutes of the game.
I've got to say, Steve, I must pay some credit to the Northampton fans today. This is a team who, a group of fans who before today have seen their team lose 6 out of 7. They've seen their team go in 3-0 down at half-time. Yeah, there was some boos inevitably at half-time, but they have really stuck with their team in this second half.
Excellent support, Stuart. Yeah, you know, as I say, it's hard to still follow a team who are such a poor run as they're having, but
not on anyone's back, have they?
Nothing at all. No, superb.
Yep. Well done, Northampton fans. Really have. They've done their best to lift their team, and they have been much better in the second half, the Cobblers. But it's Shrewsbury who still lead by 3-1. If you're just joining us late on BBC Shropshire, Town with 3 up at half-time. Mark Wright got 2 of them. One with a deflection. Wildig got the other with a deflection as well. But Tozer got one back from a free kick early in the second half. And 3-1 it remains. Chances at both ends. Macclesfield 1, Accrington 1. Jayden Stockley has got an Accrington equaliser at Macclesfield. He's on loan from AFC Bournemouth. Northampton come forward here down the left-hand side with Jacobs. He's had a good game again, the captain. Clever reverse ball. Oh, just runs away in the end from the sub, Purcell.
Referee got that wrong.
He won't get one though. It's a goal kick. Northampton fans not happy.
I think everybody in the stadium saw that was a corner to Northampton, but referee just looked away at the last minute, Stuart, and saw it go out of play. Straight away for goal kick to Town.
Fourth official gets an ear bashing from the Northampton bench. Never quite sure why that happens, because what can he do? It's not his fault. You just have to give the shrug of the shoulder and say,
who'd be a fourth official? Terrible.
All they do is get people moaning at them, isn't it? Yep. It's a fairly inglorious position, isn't it, to occupy a football match, fourth official, especially in the Premier League. When they get pelters, don't they, verbally? So much of the time. That's a foul on Hurst from Robinson. Could be a yellow card as well for Jake Robinson, who's summoned towards the referee. No, just a talking to. Let's have a look. 9 minutes to go. Town 3-1 up. Who's your Shrewsbury Town man of the match today, Steve?
Well, I think a player who's impressed me and who's played more or less out of position today, Stuart, and he had a good performance last week at Norfolk County. But I think Aaron Wildig for me today, as you know, up and down this right-hand side, lovely footballer, great feet. For me, he's man of the match today.
There you go, Aaron Wildig then. The man of the match for Steve Cross, a youngster from Cardiff City. Who's yours? Give Adam a call, 01743 248 321, or send him a text, 81333. 81333. Just make sure you begin your message with the word drop. Plymouth have got one back at Torquay. Will Atkinson, 3-1 Torquay lead though in that Battle of Devon. Here's McAllister opening up for him. 20 yards out, looks for Morgan. Great chance for Morgan. Yeah! Morgan scores! He's back in the goals! His first goal in 10 games, and boy doesn't he enjoy it as he lashes it high into the net. The big man ends his goal famine here with 8 to go. That should be game over. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 4.
You know what, Stuart? Form is temporary, but class is permanent, and this guy has got class. Superb work by McAllister. Picked it up, slipped the ball through him, still had a lot to do. Took it round the defender with his left foot and absolutely hammered it into the middle of the net. I'm so pleased for Marvin Morgan. Now the referee's booked him for his celebrations. Come on, ref, do us a favour. For goodness sake, if you can't celebrate a goal now, dear me, referee, I don't know. But
he's not to know. He's gone so long without a goal, I suppose. It is the letter of the law, isn't it?
Take nothing away from him, Stuart.
I don't think he'll mind that booking in some ways, though, will he?
He probably won't. He probably won't.
Just so happy to be celebrating a goal, his goal. Marvin Morgan, Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 4. Morgan scores for the first time in 10 matches, and I bet that's been a long, long time in his mind as well. And it was well worth the wait in the end. Well won by McAllister. Set up the big man who rolled the defender and leathered it, hammered it deliciously into the net. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury Town 4, at the end of the ground where all of these travelling fans are sat. So who can blame him for getting carried away and racing towards them? And they loved it as well. Northampton 1, Shrewsbury 4. Here's Jacobs for Northampton on the left-hand side. Ball comes into the middle, headed away by Richards for the Town. Taken down by Gornell, who goes short to Hurst. Long out ball up towards Morgan. Ball runs away from him on this occasion, and that will be a throw to Northampton Town. I'd like to think that should be game 1, shouldn't it, Steve?
Yeah, definitely should. Game over for me. I think James Collins is going to come on for his cameo appearance. And I think probably at the expense of probably either Morgan or Gornell, who've worked tirelessly today. Absolutely superb performance from the front two.
Aldershot have got one back. Aldershot 1, Gillingham 2. It's our next away game for Shrewsbury Town. Scott Davis, 3 weeks today. Successive Saturday home games for Shrewsbury. There's a novelty this season. Morecambe at home next weekend and Rotherham the week after in the FA Cup second round. And then off to Aldershot 3 weeks today. Now Northampton come forward, they've got a throw. Advanced position left-hand side. Everton 2, Wolves 1. Leighton Baines from the penalty spot as Wolverhampton-born Steve Cross looks away with an anguished expression on his face. Long way to go, Steve. I'm sure Wolves will finish fourth bottom at least for you. You'll take that, wouldn't you?
I would take it now, Stu.
Yeah, I'm sure. Town have got fairly loftier ambitions than that. They want to go up, and they're going the right way about it, aren't they? They're 4-1 up here at Northampton. 2 for Wright, 1 apiece for Wildig, and now for Morgan. Here comes James Collins with 6 minutes to go.
He'll fancy he want to get a goal, Stuart. I'm telling you, the way the Town are passing the ball at the moment, keeping possession, it's a joy to watch. It really is. You know, it's the team that conceded goals soon after the second half started. You know, the crowd are up for it. The Northampton players got a little bit of spring in the step, but they just got themselves back into the game. And if James Collins eventually gets on, then he'll be hoping for a goal. Yeah, he could have come on there. The ball had gone dead, and the ball had gone a long, long way high into the back of this main stand. But still, Collins waits in the wings. Crow now for Northampton. Jacobs. Well closed down by McAllister, and his foe is Akinfenwa. Akinfenwa shoots, and Akinfenwa scores. Lifeline or consolation, take your pick. Goal for Northampton with 5 to go. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 4. What a game. Yeah, it's disappointing, Stuart, really disappointing. Town had chances to clear the ball then, and I think it came out to Marvin Morgan. Got good tackle from one of the Northampton players, but it went back into that dangerous area, and Akinfenwa seemed to have all the time in the world, didn't he? Set himself up, opened his body up, and just curled it into that far right hand corner past Chris Neal in the Town goal. Shrewsbury even more relieved now that Morgan popped up at the other end now, because 3-2 would have been a bit hairy. Still got this 2-goal buffer. That's a loose back header from Jake Robinson, who's now playing on the right hand side, struggling to get into the game actually. Robinson, he looks like a man who's struggling for form and confidence. Here he is, just shy of halfway, sends it forward aimlessly, berates a teammate, not quite sure why. It was a fairly lousy ball from
from Robinson, if truth be told, and it sails all the way through to the goalkeeper. 4-2 Shrewsbury Town, and we've got 4 minutes to play here.
Yeah, it's just game over now, Stuart, for me. They're just going to see the game out and make sure they don't concede anymore, because from being 4-2 to getting to 4-3, you don't want a nervy last 5 minutes of the game, do you?
Certainly don't. Both sides about to make a late change. Gornell scored on the last 2 Saturdays, a Dagenham and Newport. He's not going to score in Northampton though. He's making way. Collins coming on. Northampton about to make a change as well. Nick McCoy coming on for these closing minutes. What have you made of Gornell today, Steve?
Yeah, led from the front. He's been a strong, willing worker up front with Morgan. I thought there was a great partnership between the two of them. They've really worked the Northampton defence. And superb performance. I'm so pleased. And you know what? He's absolutely gutted of having to come off, Stuart. He wanted to see the game out, and that's a great attitude from a young kid. It really is.
I think he thought there might have been a goal in it for him today. Terry Gornell had a hand in a couple of the goals, hasn't he? Put in a really good shift. Yeah, at least 2 of those goals in the first half he was heavily involved in. Well played, Terry Gornell. Continues to look a very astute signing. Is that handball against Hurst? No. Hurst, talking of astute signings, plays it forward down the inside right channel. Collins, the fresh legs, gives chase. Jason Crowe shows a nice composure. Can tell he's been schooled at Arsenal, the way he just span and kept a cool head there, Crowe. And now he plays it up towards Purcell. Well won by Sharp. Sharp lifts it forward towards Morgan. Collins putting himself about a bit as the ball's headed into touch by Nick McCoy, who's a centre half, so it's a like-for-like switch there for Northampton. Westwood seems to be struggling with a little bit of a knock. And on we go. Telford still 0-0, by the way, with Mansfield at the Buck's Head. Good ball forward here. James Collins could be in for a fifth. Collins hits it, and Collins scores with his first touch. What a way to announce your arrival in a football match. Ball over the top. Collins let it come over his shoulder, and then bang, like a rocket, into the far corner of the net. And Town have got themselves a nap hand here at Sixfields. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 5.
Well, you can't take it away from Collins, can you, Stuart? He came on, he wanted to score a goal. Terry Gornell will be absolutely gutted sitting on that bench down there, but take nothing away from Collins. Little ball over the top. He knew where the ball was going to drop, and he sized it up. Half volley, absolutely smashed it into the bottom corner of that net. Pleased for him. Great goal.
It's one of those you could easily just pull wide of the far post, isn't it? You hit it first time, and you almost take a swing at it. And he hit it so powerfully right into the corner of the net. Great finish. 5 for Shrewsbury Town. Get your thinking caps on, Town fans. Tell Adam in the verdict. Help me out as well. When was the last time? No, I know the answer already. It's just come to me. I'll make it different. A different answer question for you in a moment. Northampton come forward. Good ball in. Good hands from Neil. I was going to say, when's the last time Town scored 5 away? Apologies to Adam Green. It was at Sinsel Bank against Lincoln City. Not that long ago. But when was the last time Shrewsbury Town scored 5 away on a Saturday? If you know, let Adam know in the verdict. 01743 248321. Or send a text 81333 81333. Begin your message or your answers with the word FROP. Newcastle have got one back at Man City. Dan Gosling 3-1 though to Roberto Mancini's side. When was the last time Town scored 5 away from home on a Saturday? I don't know. Do you? They might get a 6 here, the way they're going about it. Collins to Wright. Wright cuts inside. Wright takes a shot on. It's deflected. The break for Morgan, who goes down. Richards quickly on the scene. A goal in the Wigan-Blackburn game. It's gone the way of Wigan. Wigan 3, 10-man Blackburn 2. Wright into the area. Wright on a hat-trick. Good tackle. Comes in. And that will be a Town corner. I think it's fair to say Town old boy Kelvin Langmead, playing at the heart of this Northampton defence, will not have enjoyed his first reunion with Shrewsbury today.
Not at all, Stuart. Absolutely run ragged, I think, by whichever strikers have been on the field for Town. Absolutely battered today, I'm afraid. Young Kelvin he's been in the game.
And Town have a corner. They might get goal number 6 yet. Corner taken short towards Mark Wright. Wright rolls it into the box to Richards. Back to Wright. A hat-trick for him would be the icing on the cake. Could just happen. Castle Sheriff to Wright, opening up his body, and the ball just runs away from him, and McCoy clears. only as far as Hurst. Hurst shoots from a long way out, hits his own teammate Wildig on the backside, and Northampton now spring forward. What a game. We had a great game here last season, the 3-2. This is great as well. Robinson, delightful skills, chips it forward towards Berahino, who pulls it back, and good hands from the goalkeeper, Chris Neal. Funfair looks brilliant, Stephen, the lights, doesn't it? The bright lights on the hill.
Looks better when you're 5-2 up, Stuart, I'm telling you. It really does.
Fancy going something before we get in the car and go back up the M1, Steve? Feel free, after you've done your bits on the verdict, of course, with Adam. But I don't mind, Steve, if you want to go on the Funfair for a little bit, take your pick. Town 5-2 up here. Morgan on the attack, right hand side, pulls it back, McAllister over the top. Oh, how close! How close to 6. Morgan to McAllister at full stretch, just couldn't keep it down, and it shaves the bar. Goal kick.
That would have been icing on the cake, I think, for McAllister, who's had some great runs into the box today. Really backed up his centre forwards. Lovely ball in from Marvin Morgan, just couldn't get enough on it. Great chance. Rampant to Town at the moment.
It's all Shrewsbury. Northampton are out on their feet. Look at this for Jacobson. What a run, he's going all the way. Jacobson still. Yeah! Jacobson! What a goal! The left back scores his first goal in his Shrewsbury shirt. It's a rout here at Sixfields. He must have ran about 50 yards there and then hammers it into the bottom corner of the net. It's 6 of the best for Northampton. A shocker for managerless Northampton. What a scoreline here. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 6.
Emphatic, absolutely emphatic, Stuart. You know, Joe Jacobson's picked the ball up then. Great run from Mark Wright. He's taken the defender away.
To the Town fans, Steve.
Yeah, they won 7. We won 7 as well, to be fair, but take nothing away from Joe Jacobson. Made that goal all on his own. Terrific pace to break into the 18-yard box and to finish with a strike like that, Stuart. Class, absolute class.
Northampton want the final whistle. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 6. Whoever gets this Northampton Town manager's job, if they've been here today having a look, the likes of Mick Harford and Garant Williams have been. Sure, there's plenty others as well. They will know they've got a big job on their hands. Shrewsbury have been ruthless, and here they come again.
Stuart. They left at 4-2, I'm afraid.
Mark Wright, he'd still love that hat-trick. He's into the penalty area. Right, across the face and no one there. Will be kept in here by Wildig, will it? Yes, it will. Everyone wants to score in a Shrewsbury shirt now. Morgan on the ball. Morgan still near the corner flag. Town have scored 3 times in each half. What skill from Morgan. Stands it up towards the far post. Irresistible from Shrewsbury as McCoy heads it behind. Shrewsbury playing like Brazil here. Or Barcelona, I should say.
They are, Stuart. You know, no taking it away from them. Absolutely fantastic performance in this last 5-10 minutes. Passing of the utmost class. It really is superb.
To Wright. Wright tries to bend it top corner, and it's over. Can't blame him for having a go, though. Could be the last chance. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury 6, and those Town fans who have turned up in big numbers today will be so pleased they decided to make the journey to Sixfields. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury 6. They're not going to be the top scorers today, though. Airdrie 11-0 up on Gala Ferrydean in the Scottish Cup. Well done, Airdrie. I think Northampton might be slightly better than Gala Ferrydean. Who knows? 6-2. When's the last time Shrewsbury scored 6 away from home in the Football League?
That's
a good question, isn't it?
League, yeah.
Let Adam know on the verdict. 01743 248321, or send the text 81333 81333. Begin your message with the word "frop." How excited, Town fans, are you about this team that Graham Turner's put together? Is this the season? Who's the standout men for you? How good is it to have Marvin Morgan back on the score sheet? Get involved on the verdict, it's your chance. Should be a very buoyant verdict tonight with Adam as well, I would have thought, after this. And Collins could be in for a 7th here. Morgan wants to tap in. Collins going in on goal. Squares it for Morgan, and it's been turned in. 7-2! Think it might have been a handball in the end. Langmead may have turned it into his own net. McCoy gave it away. Collins burst into the box. He looked for Morgan. The ball's ended up in the net. I think it could have been an OG. Collins put it on a plate. Morgan and a combination of a Northampton defender turn it in. It's a sensational day at Sixfields. Northampton 2, Shrewsbury Town 7. Just remarkable.
Unbelievable, Stuart, and I think you can credit all that to James Collins. The first touch of the Northampton defender, absolutely woeful, but he's pounced on it, put it into the box, and he just slid it across the face of the goal, didn't he? I think Morgan got a little touch. You're right, Kelvin Langmead was the last person, tried to help it out and try and push it out with his hand, but he helped it into the net.
I think it was an own goal.
7, and that's over. What a great performance.
Listen to the boos. Listen to the boos from those Northampton fans. We said how supportive they've been, and they had. But even this is so hard to swallow. Northampton, a team featuring 2 ex-Shrewsbury men in Langmead and Robinson, have been battered here by 7 goals to 2.